There are few that know this mountainous terrain as well as Bryce Comer, an Australian who first ventured into the forest a decade ago for a project that began as a hobby and turned into an obsession.
I would generally try and get up on the weekends when I wasn't working and literally just spend hours hiking around, I guess in the hope that I would bump into the caribou.
A carpenter by trade, he liked cameras. After moving to Canada, he set out to enter a nature film contest. He thought he would document the local caribou population because after years of being in decline, it was starting to rebound.
I'm set up in the hide. Now it's a case of hoping that I'm in the right place at the right time.
To say it was an exercise in patience is an understatement. The first challenge was actually finding the caribou. That took months of crisscrossing the Alpine.
I don't know, I'm not counting anymore. I still haven't seen a thing.
When he finally found them, he set out to capture as much footage as he could, and that took years. Just as he was feeling confident he would have enough material for his film, that growing caribou population started to disappear.
Yeah, I guess it changed from being this success story to trying to tell the story of what was actually going on up here and the reasons why.
Across BC, there are 54 separate groups of woodland caribou. More than half of them are in decline. 7 are in such bad shape that the federal government has declared them under imminent threat of disappearing, and 2 of those herds are very nearly gone. This spring, biologists discovered just 4 caribou remain in the Purcell population. And as for the South Selkirk, the only group that roams between Canada and the contiguous US, the one that Comer has been filming for nearly a decade, there are now only 3 left, all females, and none of them are pregnant. What was it like when you found out that there were just the 3 animals, all women, left in the herd?
That was it was tough. It was, okay, Jesus, I didn't think I'd be like this. To hear the news that there was only 3 left was tough. It was tough, I'm sure, for many people. So.
The caribou that roam in the southern mountains in BC need large areas of undisturbed mature forest, and they're under threat because that habitat is changing drastically.
It basically increases the predation risk to the caribou.
Leo de Groot takes us through a section of forest that's been logged near Nelson. He's a wildlife biologist and part of a team working on caribou recovery for the province.
And we're in a logging block that was just logged in the last month. And as you can see, there's not much growing right now.
When trees are chopped down, all the lichen that the caribou eat goes too. But that's not the only issue. Power lines and pipelines create a permanent problem. All the trees have been cleared away and plants and grass grow in their place. This attracts other animals like moose and elk, and the predators soon follow. And wolves and cougars will happily go after a caribou if they come across one.
They're not as skittish as a deer. They're more curious. They'll stand there and look at you rather than deer will just take off. So they don't kick hard like a moose. They're just likely more vulnerable. I'm just going to try and count as they walk out here.
Every year, de Groot and others do annual counts, and the numbers are dwindling. Since Ottawa has declared some of the caribou under imminent threat, the federal government can move in and act if BC doesn't. Moving forward, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge in all of this?
It's very difficult. Some of the activities that impact caribou are also major economic drivers in the province. The forest industry, the tourism industry, those are all major parts of the economies.
Some communities are worried just what will happen if huge swaths of land are suddenly off limits to logging and backcountry users. But if navigating the territory between development and conservation is difficult, trying to bring these animals back from the brink is fraught with obstacles. In 2012, BC tried to relocate 19 caribou from the northern part of the province to the south. But within a few months, 15 of them died. So they're now trying a different approach. Consider this the maternity ward of the caribou world. This sprawling pen is on a mountaintop in northeastern BC, and the goal is to protect the animals when they're at their most vulnerable. Pregnant caribou are captured in the early spring and brought to this pen, where an electrified fence keeps out the predators, sometimes waiting nearby. When they calve, a veterinarian is on standby, as well as shepherds like Ryan Desjardins. He's with the nearby West Moberly First Nation.
They were here long before man came and started putting in roads and cutting down all their forest for habitat and stuff. And, you know, as a direct result of that, numbers declined. So, you know, it's human error. It's only right that humans do something about it.
This year, 12 cows were placed in the pen and 9 calves were born. Each July, when the pen is opened, the animals gradually wander out.
The main goal is, you know, when our kids get older, or, you know, children start having children, the mountains will be thriving with them again, like they used to.
While this penning project has been successful, the other one in Revelstoke faced a setback this year. Some of the caribou struggled during calving because of the hot weather. After a few of the animals died, they all ended up being released early. It shows that no amount of money or effort can guarantee these decimated herds can be grown again, which is why Comer says it all has to begin by protecting the forest.
The problem is we've been talking about this for 2 decades and nothing has changed because we keep talking about it, we're not acting on anything.
Comer wanted to take us to a place he stumbled upon one day while trekking through the woods to make his film.
And this is what I did for years, basically, wandering around trying to find where the caribou hung out.
He leads us to a spot that brings him some comfort.
I think it's just really neat to have come across these antlers.
They're antlers he found, part of the remains of a bull he once captured on camera who either died or was killed here.
I think it's nice to think that they're going to go back into the earth here. So, such a magnificent beast. What are our children going to say, though, when, you know, they see the caribou on the quarter and there's none left? You know, why did you let that happen?
Because even though there are still thousands of them across the country, if the caribou disappear completely from areas they once roamed, he wonders then just what will go next. Briar Stewart, CBC News, in the Kootenay Pass in BC.
This isn't just a BC problem. Woodland caribou are in trouble across the country, and not every province has been eager to act. One particular herd in Quebec, similar to what you see here, is down to just 18 animals. But the province has decided the $76 million price tag to protect their habitat is too expensive. So instead, it's decided to let nature run its course and to focus on herds with a better chance of survival.